All right, everybody, we're back with our first host call of the weekend, every single weekend, answering our community's questions. This weekend, of course, isn't going to be different than any other weekend. We're going to get to 10 to 12 of the community questions. I can't wait. I'm actually opening up the big Word document right now from the team. We are on episode 3151. So if you want to follow along with today's questions, head on over to stephencabral.com/3151. And of course, if you haven't already picked up a free copy of your book, The Rain Barrel Effect, please feel free to do so. You'll be able to find that right at stephencabral.com/3151 or any of the website pages. All right, let's dive into the show. First question today is from Jennifer. Jennifer is asking, I'm wondering what your thoughts are on the SPECT brain scan that Dr. Daniel Amen recommends to clients with brain disorders or concerns, especially if there's a history of a head injury. Okay, so I've done a show on this before, and if you ever can't find a podcast after searching at stephencabral.com/podcasts, definitely write into cabralsupportgroup.com, and we'll help you find that show. So here's the thing. I do actually believe in and recommend the SPECT brain scans. I think that they can be excellent. It is expensive. I think they start around $5,000. However, that doesn't mean I don't think it's great. What I want to share, though, is if there's been a head injury, or you already know there was TBI, traumatic brain injury, concussion, etc., you may want to begin the protocols first. And the reason I say that is that if you find something that just shows what you already knew, well, you could get a whole year's worth of nutritional supplements, protocols, etc., for that same price. Now, having said that, still an advocate, without a doubt, of the SPECT brain scans, and to a lesser degree, meaning like, for more people, which is what I do the full body scan once a year. And that actually looks at the brain as well. And that shows early signs of dementia, Alzheimer's, when of course people can do something about it. So yes, I recommend. And then you have a couple other looks at that as well. Okay. Laura's up next. Laura says, hi, Stephen. Hope you can help. When I go to bed at night, I'm tired and ready to fall asleep. Then when I almost fall asleep, my legs start to itch very badly. I can go on for hours and it wakes me up every night. Sometimes it goes away for a while, but always returns after a few days or weeks. Okay, happy to help with this as well. I don't know that we've specifically talked about this topic, but there's a really good reason for this. I think I've talked about it maybe in different ways. Believe it or not, histamine levels tend to rise later in the evening as part of our circadian rhythm. There's also, though, I have to say always that it goes hand in hand. So as cortisol levels start to drop for bed, which is what's supposed to happen, melatonin levels begin to rise. Our powerful anti-inflammatory in cortisol that can knock things down, like the HPA axis in general, can kind of push down allergies and itchiness and those types of symptoms, even asthma. And the reason is that, typically you're producing epinephrine and cortisol. As those lower, of course, for bedtime, because you don't want the stress and the wake hormones, you want them to go lower while melatonin, the sleep hormone, rises. Okay, so that's one reason. We have histamine. Histamine response can cause that itchiness. Now, it could be exacerbated, though, simply because you shouldn't have this, obviously, and people shouldn't. What's the underlying condition? Well, the underlying issue may be really low levels of cortisol. That's possible. But it could be lower levels of magnesium, which can lead to also restless leg. It could be overall dehydration. It could be lowered thyroid. It could lead to anything with drier skin, eczema, etc. Then, as the body begins to go through its cooling cycle, as you're getting to sleep. And also, typically your body loses oils and things like that, sweating during the night. I know if it's just happening when you go to bed, that can actually lead to some of that oiliness, itchiness as well. So these are all things that I look at. I'm going to probably do a whole show just on reason for skin itchiness, because there's about a dozen reasons. I always say there's probably about 10 to 12 reasons that everybody has for an underlying root cause of whether it's psoriasis or high blood pressure or itchy skin. And you just have to know what those reasons are. So I'm going to do a whole show on this, but I think hopefully those reasons get you started. Maybe at dinner you try magnesium, full spectrum magnesium, 2 to 3 capsules. Then you also add to it 2 to 3 capsules of Hispro. you might try that, which is something to help lower histamine levels. All right. And then of course, all these products and any labs that I talk about will be at stevencabral.com/shop. All right, let's see. Kelsey's up next. Kelsey says, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. I have an Ayurvedic-based question. I tend to have a Pitta imbalance, and recently it's been worse than usual. My body's been hot, especially at night, and my tongue has a light yellow coating, and I struggle with mild insulin resistance, plus acne, PCOS. I'm currently on the CBO protocol and meditating like my life depends on it to calm the body. My questions are, if I'm already running hot, have I been doing myself a disservice by doing the sauna every single day? And is there anything else you'd recommend right off the bat to balance Pitta?" Okay, so whenever someone says they have a Pitta imbalance, and if you don't know what any of these mean, I have a whole podcast just on Ayurvedic. And so just go to stevencabral.com/podcast, scroll through the images at the top, click on the one for Ayurveda, start at the beginning, and then enjoy the Ayurvedic-based education. And then if you want to go deeper, of course, you can join IHP at integrativehealthpractitioner.org to become a certified health coach, even if it's just for you and your family. I think it's very, very important. All right, so always look for the underlying root cause. You're inspecting the gut, which is good to look at. I would look at heavy metals that can lead to inflammation as well. So that's important. That's the minerals and metals test. And then, of course, that would help to balance hormones. Pitta-based imbalance can have higher levels of testosterone, sometimes higher levels of cortisol, often. So we look at that too. All right. The yellow coating absolutely could be digestive based. So I'm glad you're looking at that. You're looking at Candida and you're doing the CBO protocol. Can you do sauna? Yes, you could do sauna, but not to the point where you start to feel hot, irritable, and an accelerated heart rate, which would be exacerbations of Pitta, where it's causing maybe more inflammation or more irritability than is ideal. So you can set the sauna for a little bit lower or go in maybe for less time. And then maybe you end with something cooling, like a cooling shower or a cooling cold plunge, as long as it doesn't excite that norepinephrine level too much. I think those are great places to start. Magnesium and adrenal soothe are great for Pitta, one at lunch of each and then 2 at dinner. Full spectrum magnesium, adrenal soothe. And if there's any sleep issues, of course, I would work on that. And then run the stress, mood, and metabolism test to help with alleviating PCOS. All right, because we'll give you all the one-on-one tips for that. Anonymous is up next. Anonymous says, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. I'm getting into preserving my own food and I've been learning about the process. I got a canning book and it splits jams recipes into those that have added pectin and those without it. It says that pectin is a fiber naturally found in fruits and veggies and that adding it to jams reduces cooking time and increases its ability to gel. Since it's naturally found in fruit, I don't think it would be bad to add, but after some research, I'm getting conflicting information. Please share your thoughts. You are a trusted voice in our household. Thank you. Happy to help, and I'm happy to hear that." So I have no issue with people adding some natural pectin to a jam to make a canned jam. Now, you can add a little bit or you can add a lot. You can make jams without the pectin or not. If you want it a little thicker, a little bit more gel-like, you're probably going to have to add some additional pectin than what's in the fruit itself. The pectin from the most natural, healthiest sources is usually from apples, apple pectin, or citrus-based pectin. That's basically a natural fiber that helps to thicken. And you can simply get an apple extract, which is just the extract from that. Like, so for example, when you have pea-based protein, what are you doing? Well, you're getting rid of the fat and you're getting rid of the carbs and you're just taking out the amino acids, the protein profile from peas. If you want, I mean, you could go on and on. An extract from anything is simply an extract, right? So, I mean, that's how we get a lot of essential oils, etc. So I have no issue with that. And you can just use as much as you feel comfortable. And then always look for, though, a natural source. So this is just straight pectin from apples or from citrus. And you can look at that. And then you can use the right amount that you feel comfortable with for you. All right? And then also, when you're eating it, how are you digesting it? Is it too much, a little bit too much pectin, a little too much fiber, or just the right amount for you and your family? Okay, hopefully that was helpful. Maria is up next. Is treating an elevated or out of range TPO antibody part of the thyroid outside of the scope of practice of an IHP? Well, right away you use the word treat, and so you can't use that word, right? So there's no treating, there's no diagnosing, and there's no curing, and so I might as well give my own disclaimer. So all of my shows, I can't provide any medical advice, medical treatment plans, cures, or diagnosis. Okay, so that's outside of the scope. Only the all-powerful conventional medicine industry can do that. And so that's always outside the scope. Now, can you help people find the underlying root causes of any disease of the body? And I mean any. The answer is yes. So that would include TPO antibodies as well. And so when we look at that inside of IHP, we teach to look at gut health imbalances, heavy metal toxicities, specifically arsenic, mercury, aluminum, and cadmium. So those are the ones that we look at, and then also exposure to chlorine, et cetera. So we teach all of that inside of IHP. That's actually taught in level 2. All right, so hopefully that was helpful. All right, well, we got through our questions. That was, I thought, pretty smooth for today. I'm going to be answering more of our community's questions tomorrow. Always excited to see what comes in, so definitely stay tuned. This is episode 3151. I'll see you back here tomorrow on episode 3152. Have an amazing rest of your weekend. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything. Functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.